Welcome to the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com. I'm your host, Michelle Rahal. On our last episode, we tormented you just a little bit with the gorgeous and pricey Aston Martin Rapide Lux. This week, we're going to go the other way. 30 years ago, Audi changed the perception of its vehicles by introducing the Audi Quattro, and a lot of you are going to remember that car. Well, that particular car set the stage for Audi being considered a performance mark. After it changed hands more than a few times, it's finally gotten it right. Audi's now introduced a vehicle called, what else? The Audi Quattro. That in and of itself is not a stretch, but what they've done is typical for Audi. They brought it out as a concept car, and that's exactly what they did 30 years ago. And then they brought it to reality. The first Audi Quattro came to life in 1980. That evolution went along until 1991 when the 500 horsepower version of the car rolled off the line for the last time. Or so we thought. As always, I like to give just a little bit of history to the cars or the makes that you see, but only if they warrant it. And Audi certainly does. This manufacturer was originally started by August Horch in 1899. Many believe that that name Audi comes from Auto Union, which bought virtually every company in sight until it was gobbled up by Mercedes, then Volkswagen. It reads like the book of Genesis, all the begats. I mean, the truth is, Audi is the Latin name for Horch. During the pre-war years, Auto Union provided the racing muscle for what would become ultimately Audi today. Its racing heritage reaches back to Hans Stuck, Walter Roll, and Michel Mouton. It's won Grand Prix, World Rally, American Trans Am, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The new racing diesels are just part of what Audi's been up to. They also own Lamborghini, which is where the four-wheel drive platform for the Gallardo comes from. And the Audi R8's Lamborghini engine comes from Lamborghini. Sounds like the lost screenplay for the movie Deliverance. Back to the new Audi Quattro concept. This car is in no way retro, but it still has many of the subtle design and engineering tweaks that we saw in the original. Flared fender wells, all-wheel drive, short wheelbase. Now this one's only got 2 seats, and they're carbon fiber, of course, but it has a 5-cylinder turbo just like the original, a simple but fast formula. When you look at this car, it just screams to be driven. As it sits right now, this car has got a manual 6-speed gearbox to subtract weight, the smaller engine size for lightening it up, and the most radical carbon fiber panels, bodywork, and anything else they could think of. You'd think this would be a semi-affordable car in the $80,000 price range. Well, hold on to your wallets. If they built it as it sits, over $200,000. So let's wake back up and let's think that through. This car could give up a lot in the exotic materials category while adding the horsepower to even it out. Let's not forget that the 5-cylinder turbo engine they used 20 years ago developed over 400 horsepower. It could be done if, and that's a big if, enough people lined up to buy it at a certain price point. I hope they build this great little car with a 6-speed sequential gearbox instead of the double clutch paddle shifters. Figure out how to keep the weight to a minimum, add more horsepower, and sell the hell out of them. I would and will line up to be one of those buyers. For the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com, I'm Michelle Rahal. Hey, next up is the new Lancia Stratos. See you next time.